Alright. Well, that would help to do real quick. There, now the fans and everything aren't screaming. Good morning, everybody. From, West Coast America. For those of you who don't know about the show, which is understandable considering it's only in episode 2. I'm Old Mate Guy. Born and raised here in the United States, Oregon in particular, but I can see what's going on here in our country. And it's not hard for me to see it. Not physically challenging is the words I'm looking for. But emotionally speaking, yeah, this stuff is starting to take its toll. I know where I sit in the whole scheme of things. I know where I currently sit. Both literally and figuratively. I have the potential to do stuff like me later. A.K.A. president, part of government. I've got the skills and the knowledge. And when I don't have there, I've learned and will learn. But in the meantime, this show is a way for one, not only for me to spread awareness and, well, get myself out there, but also to bring a bit more facts and reliable information to everyone. Not just outside of the United States, but American citizens as well. Because this is a big deal. We can't be brushing this shit off. So, I woke up today to Midas Touch having gone over some of the stuff that was part of Mr. Trump's presidential decrees and shit for the first day in. And, yeah, no, it's not good. Never mind that all the oligarchs were the ones sitting up front of the inauguration. So the people that actually were fooled into supporting Trump and diehard supported him, bought tickets to his inauguration so they could go see it, just get fucked over. And have a bunch of rich motherfuckers who have no business being around the government up front and center, where you even had congressmen and women who were working with Trump, fighting with Trump for what Trump wanted, getting upset. And understandably so. But literally, inauguration was a blatant example of who the team was he used to become president. In his opinion. Let that sink in. Keep in mind, knowing these are multimillionaires, not Congress people. And we're probably going to watch the inauguration today, speech today. Because as much as I don't like hearing Trump, as much as I can't stand him, I want to hear it firsthand. But you've got to stay there and not stare. And one of the first things I was greeted with when opening my phone today was a notification on Twitter. Elon Musk is trying to pull the autism card for his fucking Nazi salute. Sorry, that's not typical for us. That is not a jerking motion that we typically do. And there's an entire community of autistic adults going, bullshit. Khaleesi, you're staring. You don't listen for shit. Don't stare, dumbass. God, that fucking little chihuahua. Spoiled to hell. Anyways. Yeah. Musk and a few of the other Trump circles are trying to say that it's because Elon's autistic that he threw up the Nazi salute. Bullshit. That's bullshit on an elephant turd platter. And that's not a stab at political party, just to be clear. Dublin, what are you chewing on? Khaleesi, stop staring! My God, you stupid little dog. I don't know why the big dog can get it, but you can't. Chihuahua's driving me nuts. But, anyways. Yeah, let's just get into the first video, I guess. Because, fucking A. No, that's wrong. This is the way I want to go. No, you got a little bit more space for that. And I can stick it there. There we go. This one I haven't watched yet. But this one was the one I was watching.
Pre-tax USA, where federal filing is always free with no games or pricing gimmicks. Because choosing... Let me show you what Donald Trump did in the Oval Office on day one may have been the most disastrous day of any president in the history of the United States of America. Just a reminder, I don't show Trump audio or video on this channel during my videos. I describe what happened, but I will spare you that. If you want to watch that elsewhere, you can do that, but let's just discuss what went down. Donald Trump signed an executive order in the Oval Office withdrawing the United States from the World Health Organization, and when he would get these executive orders...
Now, if anyone is unaware of what the World Health Organization is and does, or the WHO, it's quite literally the World Department for Controlling Diseases. We should not be withdrawing from the World Health Organization. I mean, shit. The World Health Organization was the one that told the president about COVID. They're the ones that gave us the info. They don't charge us for it. Do we pay our fair share into it to make sure we get stuff from it? Fuck yeah. That's called being equal about shit.
Sign it publicly, he would say things like, "Ooh, I'm gonna withdraw us from that one." It was very weird. Also, he was like kind of like bright orange in the Oval Office as well. Then Donald Trump threatened Spain with 100% tariffs. He believed that Spain was part of the BRICS bloc. It is not. Spain is part of the European Union. Donald Trump didn't know that. The BRICS bloc is made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, that's the S, as well as a number of other nations as well. But Donald Trump did not attack Vladimir Putin at all today. He was notably silent. Also, Donald Trump did not bring peace to Ukraine in the first 24 hours as he promised. He also didn't attack Kim Jong-un. He praised Kim Jong-un and said that North Korea would be a great place to build condos, is what Donald Trump said. As it relates to peace in Ukraine, Donald Trump was like making a joke about his broken promise, and he was like, well, I guess I still have half of tomorrow to do it, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. So utterly pathetic. Donald Trump was asked about Doge when he signed an executive order that allegedly made Doge a thing. It should be noted that the executive order really isn't capable of doing that.
Yes. This is why, one reason why, when it comes to the economy, presidents don't have control.
This is all kind of a make-believe fully exercise that Donald Trump is doing, but nonetheless, he's giving Doge an office right by the White House, and Elon Musk will have an office in the old executive office building, which is basically attached to the White House. So in other words, the oligarchs literally have offices in the White House right now. And it should be noted, I talked about this in a video I did yesterday, during Donald Trump's awful inauguration, you had one of the oligarchs, Jeff Bezos, there with his wife. His wife was like wearing like a shirt that like her bra was showing and like her chest was exposed, and Mark Zuckerberg was like looking at her breasts. Like the whole thing was incredibly strange. But Donald Trump,
that bit I honestly couldn't care about. So what? She dressed a little scantily clad. She's the wife of an oligarch. Why are we surprised?
Trump said, yes, Elon Musk will have that office right by the White House. It should be noted as well that Democracy Forward, this civil rights organization, filed a lawsuit against Doge, saying that it violates the Administrative Procedures Act.
Because it does. See, this is where things are going to start getting interesting. Because the system that's in place is going to fight. There's going to be lawsuits like crazy. It's going to be interesting. But, yeah, Trump has already started to dismantle what's in place. And I don't know how much the rule of law is going to be any good. The case that he got 34 felony fucking counts for and made him a convicted felon, he serves no punishment whatsoever. No fines, no house arrest, nothing. As to where someone like me, if I was to commit a felony, I'd be locked up. I would be locked the fuck up. And ain't nobody gonna be bailing my ass out. I sure as hell don't have the money to pay for a lawyer to sit here to pay a bunch of other people to go, oh, no, he's not so bad. The justice system in America is multi-tiered. It's not supposed to be. The American justice system, if you have the money, you have the right. That's the way the system plays. And that's ridiculous. That quite literally sets it up to where someone like me, someone who's poor and barely has what they need to get by, has a chance, or has the somewhat need to become a criminal to fucking survive. Me in particular, no. But there are single fathers and mothers in my position. I don't have my son right now, and I'm not trying for him right now because I can't take care of him. I don't have the means. Meanwhile, he's in a situation of abuse with my ex. And growing up in a household that doesn't understand what it means to take responsibility for your own shit. Or to be accountable for your own actions and words. I don't want my son growing up in that. I don't want my son growing up during this Trump presidency, but he fucking did. I was hoping my son wouldn't have to see Trump presidency. But that's sadly off the table.
Violates the Freedom of Information Act, and it violates numerous other laws that require that things like DOJ, that are quasi-governmental agencies, actually follow a process, and that they have to make their records public. Donald Trump then talked about Gaza, and he seemed to describe, first and foremost, he said, it's not our war. He said it's their war, and I'm not confident that there will be that the ceasefire in Gaza that President Biden worked so hard for is going to last. Then Donald Trump talked about how Gaza is now rubble, and Donald Trump suggested essentially that it would be a great place to build things over because he says it has great...
Now get this. This is an American president talking about land in another country. That has nothing to do with us. We should not be thinking about building in this space. It's not our space to build in. And people are actually supporting this bullshit.
Weather, and it's near the water. So for anybody who was saying that you thought that Donald Trump was going to make this a peaceful situation, I don't think that's going to happen, and his words today suggest that as well. Donald Trump then signed some executive order called Protecting Women from Radical Transgender Ideology.
What? The only thing women need to be protected from is men. Because men in this country are vile pieces of shit.
Just a way to bully marginalized communities. And what Donald Trump wants is people to, listen to him and get involved in culture wars over penises and vaginas. And while he bullies the transgender community, by the way, we will always stick up for him on the Midas Touch Network. And then Donald Trump wants his base to forget about the fact that he said things like there would be peace in Ukraine in the first 24 hours. Donald Trump said that there would be lower prices, voila, magically, right away. Housing would all of a sudden become more affordable and accessible, and all of these other more jobs would be created right away. So Donald Trump wants to distract with a culture war, as I've said before, WMD, weapon of mass distraction. Don't be distracted when Donald Trump does things like say, I'm changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which is one of the executive orders he signed in one of his proclamations today.
Yeah. Again.
Poker_Q says he.
Again. Space we don't control and have no business making decisions about. Hey, Poker. Yeah. So, these episodes will continue.
They say, how about the Gulf of lower egg prices, bro? That was one of your promises, but that's another promise broken. Prices are going up, up, up. And one of the things that Donald Trump was asked about were tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Now, earlier in the day, the Wall Street Journal had reported that Donald Trump was not going to immediately implement tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and seemed to suggest that he was just going to explore and study it. But when asked about it, Donald Trump said February 1st will be the tariffs on Canada and Mexico. He also said horrific.
I can say it. I can do it. How stupid or unknowledgeable of economy and economics can you be? Mexico and Canada are our biggest trade partners. The reason why is because we can get good prices from them. And we have what each other needs. It's an equal bargain. We're not getting fucked over by Canada and Mexico. Period. The only thing Mexico may have done to us is have some corruption in their fucking government, which is from the fucking cartel. And they're the cartel and fucking bad up here, period. These people that are searching for asylum at the southern border are not cartel members. They're fleeing the cartel members. So, yeah, there might be a few cartel members that are following these people in. But the cartel members aren't going at the border. They have planes. They also have access to fake passports and all that good shit. Cartel's not the ones coming across the border.
Things about Canada and Mexico as well, like really demeaned and defamed those nations while praising Kim Jong-un and saying that North Korea is a great place for condominiums. So utterly disgusting. Then Donald Trump signed an executive order changing the definition of birthright citizenship, by the way, which is patently unconstitutional. And basically, Donald Trump says in this executive,
yeah. Again, another big deal. A lot of people on the political right here have an issue with migrant workers coming in, having a child, and becoming American citizens that way, technically. Well, guess what? It takes 9 months to make a baby. If they've been here for 9 months working, paying into the system like all the rest of us, which, believe it or not, migrants and illegal aliens still pay taxes. I'm not going to say illegal aliens. I should say not naturalized citizens, I guess. Anyways, they haven't been considered American yet. They haven't gotten citizenship status. I'm trying to be respectful because these people deserve to have a little bit of respect. Just like anybody else. I mean, it's kind of like the Trump supporters that went to go to his rally, or not his rally, his inauguration. I feel bad for them. Because they got fucked. Do I find a little bit of humor or amusement in the fact that he fucked them over? Very, very little. Because it's past the point of, well, that's what you get for not listening. No, it's past that point. It's now at the point of, are you ready? Do you see it? Yeah? Alright, let's take care of this bullshit. That's the point we're at. And the more that realize it, the better.
Order that it will deny the legitimacy of U.S. citizenship of a child, even of someone who has temporary status. If you were born here, you go on to the executive.
Or another way to put it, time for pointing fingers is over. It's time to get to work. We've got shit to do. And that shit involves saving our country from a leader. I don't like saying that word. No. Who would lead the country right into a third world. And that's no offense to you third world countries out there. My apologies if I'm offending.
Order, and obviously ex post facto retroactive laws are invalid, and this doesn't purport to be that, but who knows what they're going to do. But birthright citizenship is within our Constitution, but Donald Trump has claimed that no longer exists as part of a broader plan to basically purge our country of whoever it is that Donald Trump doesn't think belongs here.
And this is where that little bit there gets scary for me. I qualify for many of the things that Donald Trump don't like. I'm non-binary. I'm disabled. I'm not exactly white. And, yeah, in life it's shown. This is quite literally going to mean that I will have to mask every day. Any day I'm outside of my trailer. I mean, I've been having to anyhow since Trump running again, but... And that's why I need my own personal space, is because it's the place I can relax. I can drop the mask and be myself. And not have to worry about it. And it was that way before Trump. It's been that way for a long time. Only recently has autism been being given proper look and notice by the scientific community. The rest of the community, information doesn't travel very fast over here like that. I mean, case in point, fucking Donald Trump signed a declaration stating that there's only 2 genders here in America. When scientifically speaking, there is proof for at least 9.
So this time of the year, many of us start thinking about our health goals, losing weight, exercising more, eating better. But a goal without a...
I'm sorry, guys. I'm skipping the ads. I've already watched this video through once, so it's not like they don't get the ad scene.
And it was great. I think you'll really enjoy it as well. Donald Trump then signs an executive order regarding pardoning and giving commutations to 1,500 plus January 6th insurrectionists. So most of the January 6th insurrectionists get pardoned, and the sentences got commuted on those January 6th insurrectionists who were convicted of seditious conspiracy. So the leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, commuted, no longer going to be in jail. As you go...
This. The Jan 6 rioters or insurrectionists. Either way, they injured many and killed at least one. Including police officers. You want to talk about letting dangerous criminals out of jail, Trump? You just fucking did.
Look at like Stuart Rhodes, Kelly Meggs, Kenneth Harrelson, people who the Department of Justice said engaged in terrorism against the United States. The worst of the worst, the most violent January 6th insurrectionists, all being released, their sentences commuted, and Donald Trump saying that as it relates to some of the most violent ones, they've served enough time. He may even explore a full pardon, totally declaring them basically to have committed no wrongdoing at all. But they're being released regardless. They're getting their sentences are being commuted, and they're going to get released forthwith. And no more January 6th insurrectionists in jail. The worst of the worst will be free. Now, even the Republican federal judges, the ones that Trump appointed, warned Donald Trump against doing this. But one of the first moves Donald Trump did was empower the worst of the worst January 6th insurrectionists. He said, look, regarding the violent ones who beat and tried to kill cops, Trump said they've been in jail for a long time already, and he said that the FBI was involved spreading lies and conspiracies. Donald Trump was then asked about TikTok and cutting a deal with TikTok, and then Donald Trump said, maybe I won't do a deal with TikTok. TikTok is worthless without me, he says. He then describes some kind of bizarre...
No. Let that sink in. Trump is now using his position against TikTok. And then, as you might be able to read, it goes on.
A deal that he's conceived or concocted in his mind, whereby the United States government would take a 50% interest in TikTok. So you're going to have the government, you want to increase the government so the government becomes a shareholder.
To be clear, this is what China is currently doing with TikTok. Their whole excuse for trying to ban TikTok was this bullshit right here. And now they're wanting to try to do it themselves. Yeah. I got a problem with that.
Of TikTok at a 50-50 JV. And then I would assume, based on the position that Donald Trump gave to Carrie Lake, that this would be something that Carrie Lake would control. So Trump wants to control TikTok through the United States government and says that, yeah, he may not cut a deal. Also, Donald Trump kind of shortened the potential length of the deal-making period, the extension from 90 days to 75 days as well. And so it's just a very kind of bizarre plan that Donald Trump has there. I guess a few other things to discuss about what went down over the past 24 hours as well. Vivek Ramaswamy resigned from Doge. He goes, it was my honor to help support the creation of Doge. He's going to be announcing whatever his next plans are soon. You had Kid Rock go on Fox, and he...
Just saying, Doge is what happens when you're dyslexic or have a written expressive disability and try to spell Dodge. Just putting that out there.
Talked about how Trump's enemies' heads should be put on a guillotine, word for word. Some people's heads should be put in a guillotine. That's what Hannity and Fox are platforming right now. And then Donald Trump revoked 3 executive orders that are noteworthy to discuss, a bunch of others. He revoked an executive order establishing the United States Council on Transnational Organized Crime. In other words, he's pro-crime. He rescinded an executive order.
That was a little too simplistic way of putting it. Yes, he's pro-crime. I mean, man's a 34 count felon. Why are you staring? Of course he's going to be pro-crime. But the reason he's pulling it up is because he is a one-person, one-group scenario. Being part of that group would put him at risk of getting caught. So no, he doesn't want to be part of that. Khaleesi, stop staring. Look away, little dog.
An executive order for the safe, secure, and trustworthy development and use of artificial intelligence. Oh, and another executive order Trump just signed gives the White House counsel the full authority to give interim top-secret security clearance to whoever Donald Trump wants for up to 6 months. So regardless of if you pass any background checks, if Trump wants you to have top-secret security clearance, you get it right now. So that's a roundup, basically, of what went down in the Oval Office. As I said, the worst day in the history of the presidency, potentially, in the United States. I don't play Trump audio, I don't play Trump video, but I give you all the data. Asen, one of our senior producers here, posts the videos on social media. So if you just want to see it for yourself, if you don't believe I've accurately narrated everything that happened, you need to hear Trump say it, go follow Asen. You can see the clips. He has them all listed there. I don't show those anymore. Let me know what you think.
Now, I do get that stuff from Asen. I do follow him and do more research. Yeah. Not small beans.
In KCD2, whatever you do as Henry will have consequences. I'm just starting. Mercy, let me live. And you will feel them. Give me everything you have, and I'll let you go. But it could have been much worse for him. That was just a little appetizer.
Well, I guess the only, and I really mean only, silver lining of today's events was that I got to practice my now perfected white guy surprised gif. Because, trust me, there were plenty of opportunities.
There he is.
Wait for it.
So it would have been something of a scandal for these people who control information in the United States and the world. The CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, who's there.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Oof.
Now, I know as a network we made...
And Elon was trying to claim that to be an autistic quirk expression of throwing your heart out to the crowd. I'm sorry. Bullshit. And I'm not the only one in the community saying it.
the executive decision to go with puppies and kittens over the pussy grabber, pun intended. But outside of that, I wanted to discuss what everyone should be taking note of regarding today's inauguration, who was sat in the front row.
I don't know if we control the feed or not, but it's really remarkable to see these tech CEOs or founders, in the case of Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, standing alongside members of the Trump cabinet.
They got better seats than some.
Well, it's just remarkable. I can't help but think that if this had happened 4 years ago or 12 years ago, it would have been something of a scandal for these people who control information in the United States and the world. The CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, who's there, as well as Bezos, the founder of Amazon, and Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, and Elon Musk from X, and not to mention all the federal contracts he has with because of SpaceX. All of them standing amidst members of the president's would-be cabinet, not yet confirmed.
And these are a group of people. Joe Biden, in his very last address to the American people, warned, make up effectively an oligarchy.
Yes.
And for people who don't know what an oligarchy is it is the idea of wealthy individuals, often business owners in the private sector, who essentially have control over the government as a result of their wealth.
That's right. The most exclusive seats at President Donald Trump's inauguration on Monday were reserved for the powerful tech CEOs who also happen to be, among the world's richest men. This is a stark shift from tradition, especially for a president who has characterized himself as the champion of the working class. Yes, that's right. The billionaire said that.
Succession didn't work that way, right? But now she's great and he's great. This is a great, beautiful couple and unbelievable career. I just said to him, you are very upwardly mobile, because he hasn't been doing it that long. But he picked it up so quickly. Remember, the first week was a little bit like the fake news was hitting him really hard. And I said, ooh, this may be tough. But after that, it was smooth sailing for him. He took on everybody. He took on the meanest. I don't want to use the word corrupt because we're into a new system. So let's wait till the corruption begins, because it will. But he took on some pretty mean people.
So these seats traditionally are reserved for the president's family. He hates them, so that makes sense. Past presidents, they all hate each other. So
now the boos are picking up again, as you can imagine. You have former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and obviously.
Okay, I have to correct them on this. Most ex-presidents don't hate each other. A very clear and obvious cue of this was before the inauguration and all this, about a week or so back, the ex-presidents that are still living were filing into one of the ceremonies. I don't remember which one at the moment. But Obama sitting in a chair where he's supposed to be. Bush coming in, has to scoot past Trump, doesn't wave, say hi, nothing. Gets over to Obama and goes, as he's passing very playfully, making both of them start chuckling. Tell me those two hate each other, because I'm going to call you a fucking liar. If those two people hated each other, that would have gone so much differently.
Former President Bill Clinton as well. The crowd here is getting a little more raucous as it's filling out. About 20,000 inside of the Capitol real time, and how sort of MAGA world is watching. Big moves right now, as you can imagine. I don't know if you guys can hear it over my mic, but
I saw Obama start to smirk there a little bit.
Former President Obama getting a resounding
Honestly,
cheer here.
I wonder if this is setting the tone.
Look, these are loyal supporters, yeah.
If I was Obama,
Other honored guests.
I would be
but
smirking a little bit.
who was in the front seat?
Like, really?
The head of his own cabinet picks, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, Google CEO Sundar Pichai, and of course Elon Musk, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, and his fiancée Lauren Sanchez. But don't take it from me, take it from Zuck, who made sure to double check that she was in attendance.
I don't know if we control the feed or not, but it's really remarkable to see these tech CEOs or founders, in the case of Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, standing alongside members.
They come and go. Some elections are, important, some are not. But
EBS.
this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you
bullshit.
that the future of civilization is assured.
Also amidst team oligarch.
I'm sorry. Bullshit. Hey Elon, you know what micro expressions are? 'Cause I do. And that oh shit that went through your face, or went through your head, it showed on your face.
Where Apple CEO Tim Cook and TikTok CEO Gao Zichu, which is no surprise considering the past few days in which he allowed the platform to promote several messages of President Trump propaganda, it seems, despite Trump himself pioneering a TikTok ban in the past. Hypocrisy, there you are. Haven't seen you a lot in the past few years. Good to have you back, I guess. And while gross amounts of wealth in politics is bipartisan, this inaugural display highlights the direct role that the world's wealthiest people will likely have in the new administration, which should worry just about everyone.
That's why my farewell address tonight. I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. The dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America, and we've seen it before. More than a century ago, the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy. Just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else.
Yeah, I think it's about time we punish the wealthy. Because this is the second time this has happened in the world. I think we need to stop being so nice about it, everybody.
Hello, everybody. As I am sure you have heard, there is a lot that's going on here in Washington, D.C. So let me say a few words and try to explain it. Bottom line, after all is said and done, is that after months of negotiations, Senate Democrats and House Republicans reached an agreement called a continuing resolution, which would continue to fund the government for 3 months. Frankly, that agreement was not something that I was all that excited about, but it was better than nothing. And I was prepared and am prepared to vote for it. And one of the reasons is that it contained a reasonable increase in funding for primary health care something that I feel very strongly about and that my committee, the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee, is responsible for.
Yeah.
And given the enormous crises that we're facing in healthcare in this country today, it really would be of help to many millions of Americans. What this legislation would do is significantly, or modestly at least, increase funding for community health centers all over this country, which treat about 30 million Americans who are low income or working class. And it would also increase the number of young doctors who go out into rural America and also into underserved areas. That is where we need the doctors and the nurses, and that's what this legislation would do.
One question. How would it do that? I'm sorry, I'm very much a data and facts kind of person. How is this going to be achieved?
In any case, within the House of Representatives, the Republican House, and the Democratic Senate, there was widespread agreement on this resolution. And it was just about ready to be passed. In fact, the Republicans posted it on their website. We were ready to go. But then, out of nowhere, the wealthiest man in the world, Elon Musk, began tweeting his opposition to this legislation. In fact, he was very blunt about it. He told Republicans that if they voted for this proposal, which they had already agreed to do, he would take out his wallet and spend as much money as it took to defeat them in primaries and drive them out of office. You got that? Take a deep breath and appreciate what's going on here. The wealthiest person in the world, who spent at least $277 million to elect Donald Trump in a Republican Congress, has now claimed complete ownership of that party.
Buckle up, the next 4 years are upon us, and to quote the great Martin Luther King Jr. on his day, regardless of attempts to overshadow it, he who accepts evil without protesting against it is really cooperating with it.
Love this video? Make sure.
And Bernie had that right. That is a big deal. That's not small beans. We can quite literally have proof of meddling in our government by rich oligarchs. Oh, I just want what's best for us. No! No, you simpleton fools! You small-minded, not information-chasing nincompoops! They don't have what's best for you in mind. These are the egotists of egotists. These are the people that care about nothing but money. These are the CEOs. These are the fat cats that sit up there in an office all day, maybe signing papers. If they're even at the office, where they should be. I mean, case in point of fucking Elon Musk. He's the CEO of how many companies now? And sitting in the White House? Or next to the White House? And has an office in the White House? Excuse me? I don't know. But it looks like it's time for America to take its medicine. Till next time.